Right now, the $3.2 trillion wiped from global markets due to the Strait of Hormuz closure is just the beginning. While most investors are waiting for a bounce, history warns of a darker reality. In 1914, the New York Stock Exchange didn't just dip, it shut down for 4 months. If history repeats itself in 2026, your digital wealth could be locked behind a system offline screen before you can even click sell. We've analyzed 100 years of wartime data to identify the only three assets that have never been successfully seized, frozen, or devalued to zero. Drop a 7 in the comments if you're holding cash right now. What I'm about to show you might change your mind. Here is the reality. No financial advisor will tell you. In a total war scenario, your wealth is permissioned. If the power grid flickers or a cyber attack hits the SWIFT system, your index funds are just numbers on a screen you can't reach. To survive 2026, you must move from paper wealth to sovereign wealth. But before you go out and buy a gold bar, you need to understand why the government wants you to do that. Most people think gold is the ultimate shield. But in 1934, the US government made owning it a criminal offense. They didn't steal it, they forced you to sell it at a 40% discount. To survive what's coming, you need assets they cannot find and cannot freeze. The first asset you must own isn't just Bitcoin, it's unpermissioned liquidity held in cold storage. Look at the data from the start of Operation Epic Fury last week. While the S&P 500 is still struggling to find a floor, Bitcoin saw a liquidity flush to $63,000 before bouncing back to $70,000 within 48 hours. Why? Because when the Strait of Hormuz closed and global trade hit a 75% reduction, the world realized that digital math doesn't care about blocked shipping lanes. But here is the catch that could cost you everything. If your crypto is sitting on an exchange, you don't own it, you own a promise. In 2026, cyber warfare isn't just about missiles. It's about taking down the banking grid. We've seen a 200% increase in nationally significant cyber incidents this year alone. If the system offline screen hits your exchange, your Bitcoin is as useless as a frozen bank account. Are you willing to bet your life savings on a website's uptime during a world war? Asset number 1 is Bitcoin, but specifically held in a cold storage wallet. This is the 21st century version of burying gold in your backyard, with one massive advantage. You can carry $10 million across a border on a device the size of a thumb drive. It's the only asset in history that has no counterparty risk and cannot be physically seized without your 12-word seed phrase. But while digital wealth saves your future, it won't fuel your car or heat your home when supply chains snap. As of this week, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz has sent Brent crude soaring over 30%, recently hitting $82 a barrel. If the blockade lasts just 30 days, Goldman Sachs predicts a risk premium that could push prices toward $100. In a war, the world stops caring about tech multiples and starts fighting over BTUs. Think about it. Governments can let a social media company go bankrupt, but they cannot let their military run out of fuel. This is why asset number 2 is strategic energy and defense critical materials. During World War, while the broader market stagnated, energy and industrial stocks outperformed by massive margins. Today, that means looking at the materials the war machine literally cannot function without: lithium, cobalt, and titanium. NATO recently released a list of 12 defense-critical raw materials, from graphite for tank hulls to germanium for night vision optics. As supply chains snap, the companies that control these resources gain 100% pricing power. You don't want to own the company selling luxury goods. You want to own the one the Pentagon has no choice but to pay. Drop a yes if you think energy is the safest bet in 2026. Finally, if a global conflict reaches the scale of a world war, the safest asset isn't just what you own, but where it is located. Asset number 3 is physical hard assets. In non-aligned jurisdictions, neutral zones like Switzerland or Singapore become the world's safety deposit boxes. Specifically, we are seeing a massive shift into agricultural land and strategic real estate in remote food-producing regions like South America and New Zealand. In a 2026 war scenario, you can't eat a Bitcoin and you can't fuel a tractor with a stock certificate. Productive land is the only asset that provides both a store of value and a means of survival. If the global supply chain snaps, would you rather own a tech stock or a 50-acre farm with its own water source?